So you've been wasting time in the gym. In this video, I'm going to tell you every single thing that you need to stop doing, and I'm going to tell you every single thing that you need to fix if you're tired of looking the exact same. So if you're not seeing any results, you've been looking the same for months, for years. I can't even imagine that. Looking the same for years, bro. If you feel like everybody's on steroids, right? This is a common one. Oh, he just looks good because he's on steroids, right? If you want to build the most amount of muscle possible, then you're going to want to pay attention to this video because I'm going to tell you exactly every single thing that you need to do in the gym to get the maximum possible results. So take out your pens, papers, notes app. You know what I'm saying? Take out your iPhone, start taking notes because this video will single-handedly fix exactly what you've been doing wrong. And I guarantee 90% of the people watching this are fucking up on one or more of these things that we're going to talk about. So without further ado, there are two rules that we need to understand. Rule number one, muscle is a survival response. What do I mean by that? Think about it in the old times, bro. When we used to climb mountains, fight saber-tooths, you know what I'm saying? Build houses, do all this agriculturing, farming stuff, hunting. The body would adapt in order to survive. That's how the body works, right? You do some strenuous activity, the body would be like, damn, we don't have enough strength or stamina to endure this. So that next time it happens, let me build some muscle so I can handle that stress or I can handle that activity. The body always adapts in order to survive. The body is a survival mechanism. Therefore, we have to give it a reason to adapt, to change, to survive. In other words, we have to give it a reason to actually build muscle, right? This is how you put on muscle mass, bro. You have to subject the body to a new level of stress or stimulus in order to give it a reason to adapt, to change, to grow muscle. Does that make sense? So you don't build muscle from doing 3 sets of 10, bro. I see this everywhere. Oh, I'm doing 3 sets of 10. I'm good, bro. That doesn't build muscle. Muscle is built when you apply a stress that you've never handled before, which forces the body to build muscle in order to be able to handle that new stress it's been exposed to. So if you're not exposing the body to new stimulus or new stress, it's never going to grow lean muscle mass, bro. So how do we do this exactly? There's going to be two things that we need to understand. And before you say, Hancho, I already know that, shut up, eat some humble pie, because I guarantee you 90% of every single person watching this is fucking up. Right? So I'm going to go over that. So take some humble pie and just listen up. All right. Working out till failure and progressive overload. Now, working out till failure means that you should do a set until you cannot perform another single rep. If you're doing 3 sets of 10, just because you hit 10 doesn't mean shit. What matters is that you go until you cannot do another single rep. The last 3 reps of a set should be a struggle to get up. It should be a struggle, bro, to get up those last 3 reps. Right? You do not need to break your form, but you do need to push yourself till you cannot do another rep. So how do we actually know if we're pushing a failure? Because I'll get a lot of guys asking me, bro, like, man, I'm training hard. You think I'm doing enough? Well, this is how you know whether or not you're doing enough. Number one, the last 3 reps, they should take you a few seconds to lock out. If you're doing a bench press, and the last 3 reps, you start to struggle to get it up, like it's taking you 2 seconds or 1 second or 3 seconds to lock out, that's how you know you're actually pushing yourself to failure. What a lot of guys will do is they'll hit the bench press, and as soon as it starts to burn or it hurts, and they hit 10, they'll be like, oh, fuck, that was the last one. That's a good set. No, bro. I didn't see you struggling with the weight. I didn't see you almost failing to get the weight up. I didn't see you struggling. The way that you know if you're pushing a failure, number one, is by those last 3 reps, they should be a struggle to get up, okay? Number 2, if you think to yourself, fuck, man, I don't know if I could do this weight, man. This looks fucking heavy. If your brain starts to tell you, damn, bro, like, this might be too heavy for us. If you feel fear before going into the lift, that is a good sign. Your brain is trying to keep you within your limits. And fear is a sign that you are pushing past your limits, going outside of your comfort zone. So check this out. Fear is the sign that your body wants to stay stagnant and comfortable. So whenever you feel fear, it means that you're about to do something that's going to get you outside your comfort zone. And whatever's outside your comfort zone is where growth is, right? Guys, this is just as much physical as mental, right? So check this out. When you're approaching a set and you're thinking to yourself, fuck, man, I don't know if I could do this, right? That is a good thing. That means you're pushing yourself past your limits, which is exactly what training to failure is. And notice, how you start to develop confidence. You start to develop self-respect. You start to develop belief in yourself. Once you're able to silence that inner bitch voice in your head and get underneath that bar and lift that shit, no matter what those inner fears are telling you. So if you're not able to actually grow your mindset, you're never going to be able to grow your physique, right? Because your physique is a reflection of your mindset. And this is what holds a lot of people back, is not overcoming that fear. Guys, whenever you feel that thought, oh shit, I don't know if I could do this, that's when you got to do it. That's when you got to attack, bro. I get it all the time. And that's how I know I'm on the right track. That's how I know I'm pushing past my limits and I'm training to failure, okay? Number 3, if you finish a set and you get up from that set and it's time to do a second one, and you think to yourself, man, fuck, I got to do another one? How am I going to be able to do another one? That is another sign that you're pushing yourself, that you are going hard, right? Because again, that inner self-doubt voice, the fear starts to creep up because it's trying to keep you comfortable, right? But comfortable doesn't lead to growth. So you need to actually shut that inner bitch voice up and push past your limits, past your fears. So if you finish a set and you're about to do a second one and you don't get those thoughts, oh, fuck, I got to do another one? Or damn, I don't know if I could do another one. Yeah, bro, you're not pushing yourself. You're in there half-assing your shit, right? You're in there not pushing yourself, not pushing past your limits, and then your physique is going to reflect that, all right? Does that make sense? So the last and final component that you can actually know verifiably if you're pushing yourself is soreness. You'll hear a lot of guys say, man, you don't need to be sore. You don't need to be sore. After a few months, you'll get fine, used to it, bro. If you're not sore, that means you're not pushing yourself hard enough. All right. That's a great indication that you're not pushing hard enough. I've been training for 10 years. And when I have a great workout, I will get sore every single time. And that's how I know, you know what? I'm pushing myself. I'm going all the way. Okay. So the biggest mistake you're probably making, and I need everybody to take their notes out again, because this is going to probably hit home for probably 95% of people watching. 95. So the biggest mistake that is costing you years of gains is this right here. I want you to observe these numbers. Let's say we're on the bench press. First set is 135 by 10. Second set is 160. Third set is 190. Fourth set is 225 by 8. Someone tell me what's wrong with these numbers. Someone tell me what's wrong here. You know what's wrong here, bro? Is that the only set that actually counts, the only set that you were actually pushing yourself, the only set that was a new stimulus was the 225 by 8. So what the fuck were you doing from sets 1 to 3? You were throwing sand in the air. It means nothing. Those sets where you're quote unquote building up or you're pyramiding up, those are garbage sets. Those don't count. Those are warm-up sets. That's probably why you aren't making progress. That's probably why you look like shit and don't have any muscle built. You don't look like Huncho because you're counting these fucking warm-up sets as real sets, right? So this is probably the biggest mistake that 95% of you guys are making, right? Any set that is done less than your best weight is not a fucking set. You are not even pushing yourself, bro. If you could do 225 pounds on a bench press for 8, why the fuck are you touching anything beneath that? I'm not saying not to warm up. I'm not saying not to do 50% of your max weight or 80% of your max weight for 3 to 5 reps. You can warm up. But do not waste your energy getting tired on little weights when you should be starting off your number one set with the heaviest weight, saving your energy and your glycogen for the heaviest weight, and starting off with your best weight at set number 1 and not counting these little half sets that aren't even pushing anything. You're not pushing yourself. Those are warm-up sets, bro. You're not even working, all right? So the goal is to lift the heaviest weight that we can for the greatest number of reps that we can. If you're wasting energy on useless light sets and reps, that's why you don't build muscle. You're wasting energy on useless sets instead of using all your energy when you're at your strongest so you can progressive overload, which we'll talk about later, okay? So here's another example, and I'm sure a lot of people are also guilty of this too, all right? I want you to check out these numbers. Notice how they're all the same. Set 1 to 4, 225 by 8. If your sets look like this, it means you're not pushing yourself to failure. Stop training like a bitch. Respectfully. If you're doing sets like this and you think you're training hard, stop training like a bitch, and I'm going to explain to you why, okay? When you push the set to failure, you will fatigue the muscles, making your performance downtrend and decline over the next sets. It's impossible for your numbers to stay the same if you're training to failure. If you're actually going to failure, you will not be able to do the same amount of reps for every single set, okay? Here's an example of what your sets should actually look like if you're actually training to failure. Your first set should be your absolute best set. because you're pushing yourself the hardest. After that, you're going to feel a little fatigue and your performance won't be as well. So you'll probably be able to do 8 reps, right? Third set, you might be able to match the 8 reps again, maybe. But then that last set is going to look the worst, right? You might even get 5 or 6. So if you see your numbers going down like that, that means that your muscles are fatigued, and that means that you're pushing your muscles to the absolute limit, subjecting them to a new stimulus so they can actually change, adapt, and grow, like we talked about, right? So, like I said here, your first 2 sets should be your best weight, and they should be the heaviest, okay? Your performance should decline. You should be dreading to do another set. This is your brain trying to make you stay within your limits. Do the set anyways, push past your limits, okay? So, let's talk about the right way to progressive overload. And again, before you tell me, yo, Huncho, I already know how to do this. I already know about progressive overload, bro. Listen, in my experience, most people do not even know how to work progressive overload. So that's why we're going over this, because I'm sure it's going to make a difference. Now, progressive overload means that we're getting stronger workout to workout, week to week, session to session, day to day. The goal is to get stronger, all right? And we do this in 2 ways. Number 1, add more weight to the bar. Number 2, doing more reps than last time. This is how you subject the body to a new stimulus. First, we progress with our reps, and then we're going to add more weight. Now, this is an example of what it should look like. If we're doing the bench press, we're doing 5 sets, 6 to 8 reps. If we did 6 reps with 100 pounds on week 1, week 2, we're not going to add fucking weight. Week 2, we're going to add reps. We're going to push 7 reps. We're going to push 8 reps. And once we hit the top of the rep range, if we're doing 6 to 8, once we reach 8, that is an indication that we need to graduate in weight. We need to add weight, okay? Do not add weight before you progress the reps, all right? So how I like to do this, I'll add 5 to 15 pounds, 5 pounds on each side, sometimes 10 pounds on each side, and that's going to get you to the lower part of the rep range again. So if you're doing 100 pounds by 8 reps, you're going to be doing 110 by like 6, right? Because if it's heavier, you're going to be able to do less reps, right? But we're starting at the low rep range, which means that we're going to then work our way up to the rep range, right? So once we increase the weight by 5 to 15 pounds, you will automatically start at the lower part of the rep range. Your job is to work your way up until you get to 7 or 8, and then add 5 to 15 more pounds, and then you rinse and repeat. You start at the bottom rep range, and then you work your way up, and then you add weight, and then you're going to start at the bottom, and then you keep doing that, rinsing and repeating. That is progressive overload, bro. People think progressive overload is just adding weight. Bro, you need to progress with your reps, all right? I'm hoping that's making sense to everybody watching. Now, reasons, and these are going to be important reasons, so I need you to pay attention. Reasons why you are not progressive overloading. Some guys will tell me, Huncho, I can't get stronger, bro. Yeah, you can't get stronger? It's not that you can't get stronger, bro. It's that you're doing something wrong, and we're going to fix that. So the biggest mistakes when it comes to getting progressively stronger and progressively overloading. Number 1, counting the warm-up sets as a real set. You're wasting your energy, your muscle glycogen, on bullshit sets with light weights on junk sets, instead of conserving that energy in order to put it into your best weight when you start off the set with your best weight. What does that mean? That means that instead of fucking doing 10 to 15 reps with low weight, you should stop doing all those junk sets, and you should start your set with your best weight so you can put in maximum effort. So most people, they'll end their sets with their best weight. They'll do 225 for 8 at the 4th set. I guarantee that if you started with 225 for your first set, you'd probably be able to get 10. Why? Because you have more energy, because you didn't waste it using it on bullshit weights that were not building muscle, because they're not a new stimulus. All right? I hope that makes sense. Now, second thing, not drinking enough water. This is very, very important. Guys, if I do not drink enough water before I get to the gym, I will not be able to get stronger. I will not progressively overload. I will not make progress, because a hydrated muscle is a strong muscle and a deflated muscle is a weak muscle. For the guys that train in the mornings, you should be drinking 60 ounces of water before getting to the gym. That means that you should be drinking 3 water bottles at least, okay? Don't train dehydrated. But Huncho, I drink half a gallon. Okay, you train in the afternoon? That's horrible. You should be drinking a gallon of water a day, right? If you're not drinking a gallon of water a day, I don't want to hear anybody saying, oh, I can't progressively overload. Bro, you're not even doing the bare minimum. This is the bare minimum. Drink your water, sleep enough hours. This is the bare minimum, bro. This is the bare minimum, right? Thirdly, Having a bad night's sleep, like I just mentioned, bro, if you're sleeping less than 5 hours, your central nervous system is not going to be energized and rested to actually be able to handle progressive overload, to handle new stress. It will not be able to. You're going to feel weaker. So you should be getting at least 5 hours of sleep, at least. If you get less than 5 hours of sleep, I guarantee you that your workout is not going to be as good. You might be able to get away with it for 1 to 2, 3 days, max. After that, I guarantee you your workouts will not be good. Okay, if your central nervous system is not rested with at least 5, 6 hours of sleep, at least, you're not going to be able to progressively overload. And that's just a fact. Now, I'm gonna give you one of the secrets of the elites. All right, you have to use your anger. You have to use your emotions. Every single person that I've trained with that looks amazing, every single one of my clients that makes an amazing transformation, they have understood that they must use anger as fuel and their emotions as fuel. When I started to work out, bro, it was when I was going through a breakup, right? You know what I'm saying? When I'd try to push myself and I'd be under that 2 plates on the bench and I'd be, damn, this shit is heavy. My self-doubt was creeping in, right? I would start to be like, you know what? I'm gonna show that bitch what's up, man. Fuck that bitch. When she sees me next time, she's gonna fucking break her neck. Using that fucking anger as fuel to silence the inner bitch and get underneath that bar and lift that weight. I guarantee you, bro, look, when there's a chick with a fat ass and you look to your left and you're like, Jesus, she looks so bad. You're going to get underneath that squat rack and you're going to PR. You're going to hit a record. You're going to do 5 extra reps. Why? Because your emotions, your mindset was engaged. So when your mindset is not engaged, you're leaving gains on the table, bro. So you need to actually use your emotions as fuel. You know what I'm saying? Right now, my motivation, when I look to my right, I look to my left, and I see people staring at me. I don't know whether it's because I'm tall and everybody's short here in Colombia or what is it. I kind of take that shit as offensively, bro, because I'm from New York. You know what I'm saying? If you stare too long, we're from New York. We're like, yo, what the fuck you looking at, right? So I'd be like, oh, you guys looking at me? I'm going to give you fucking something to look at. And I get underneath that squat rack and fucking squat 315, yelling at the top of my lungs, I'm a fucking beast, right? So it's about getting into that frame of mindset in order to actually maximize your workouts. Because guys, look, the truth is the guys who look the best, they use their emotions as fuel. They use the anger. So take it for what it is. If you didn't like that, I don't give a fuck. That's the truth. And that's going to take you to the next level. Now, also training after a long work day. Bro, if you're training after work, you're going to be fatigued, right? Which means that your workouts are not going to be as crispy, right? They're not going to be as good as if they were in the morning. That's why I train in the mornings. Because even if I work sitting down in front of a computer, I'll go to the gym and I'll still be operating at like 80% of my potential, where I know I could be doing more. So you have to take pre-workout, bro. If you guys train after work, you have to take pre-workout, right? I don't like taking pre-workout. Well, motherfucker, look, you don't like being fat as fuck with fucking bitch tits, looking like shit and not being able to look at yourself and be like, damn, I'm proud of the man I am. I look fucking awesome, walking around confident, right? Which one do you like more? Do you like feeling like that, or would you rather take pre-workout and get that little 5% edge, right? So there's pre-workouts that have no caffeine. There's pre-workouts that don't have any stimulants, right? There's one from Transparent Labs that is a non-stimulant pre-workout that I highly recommend, okay? It doesn't have caffeine. It's not going to make you jittery, but it is going to help you stay focused because it has like nootropics and has like a focus element to it. So just taking some pre-workout after work, I found that helps a lot. All right, especially if you're looking to make progress every single week. So, number 2, this is the second rule. We talked about the first rule, which is presenting a new stimulus to the muscle so that we force it to grow. And the second thing, if we do not feel the muscle, and the second thing, if we do not feel the muscle that we are training, we will not grow the muscle. If you do not feel the mechanical tension on the muscle we're supposed to be training, you will not grow it, bro. You will not grow it, right? So this simply means if you're doing a bench press and you don't feel it in your chest, if you don't feel it in your chest, you are not going to grow your chest. If you're doing a bicep curl and your biceps aren't on fire, you're not going to grow your biceps. The tension, the mechanical tension has to be placed on the muscle, and you must feel it in order to know that you're actually placing the mechanical tension on the muscle, okay? So here are a few things that will help you fix that. If you're not feeling it, I'm going to help you fix that pretty quickly. There's 2 questions that you must ask yourself. Question number 1, does this look good? Pause. Does my form look good? Does this look good? And the only way to know whether or not your form is good is by recording yourself. You cannot tell by looking in the mirror, because I used to look in the mirror for 5-6 years and my form was fucking horrible until I finally started to record myself. And I would be like, bro, I'm not even going all the way down. Bro, I'm moving my elbows. Bro, my shoulders are all over the place. They're not contracted. So you have to record yourself in order to compare your form. Okay? That is the best way to actually know if your form is good. That is essentially the only way, because what happens is we don't even see ourselves. So when we see ourselves from a third eye, from the camera eye, we're able to pinpoint where we are fucking up and if our form is actually quote unquote good. All right. So that's the first question. The second question is, does it feel good? Pause. Okay. If your form looks right, but you do not feel it in the muscle, guess what? Your form isn't right. Your form might be textbook right, but we need to make some tweaks. We need to make some adjustments in order to actually start feeling the muscle that we're training. Because if you don't feel the muscle, bro, you're not going to grow it. You're not going to grow it, bro. I guarantee you. I had problems with this for some time because I would just go in there and not really look at my form, not record myself, not take it into account. I would just lift the weight. But if you really want to maximize your physique and get to that next level, bro, you have to feel the muscle that you are training, okay? So here are some changes for all the guys watching this that don't feel the muscle or they have problems actually feeling certain muscles. The first thing that you're going to want to do is lower the weight. Lower the weight, bro. Fucking check your ego at the motherfucking door and look at yourself. You know what? Why the fuck am I curling 60-pound barbells? Meanwhile, Huncho is curling 50-pound barbells and he has 3 times bigger biceps than me. Yeah, you're probably doing something wrong. Yeah, you're probably ego lifting. Yeah, your form probably sucks. So lower the weight is number one, okay? Step number 2 is exaggerate the range of motion. Okay, if you're doing a bench press and you're not touching your chest, but you're complaining that your chest isn't growing, bro, what are you talking about? If you're doing a bicep curl, but you're not fully extending your arms out in the stretch position, and then you're complaining that your biceps aren't growing, bro, what are you talking about? Okay? You think that might be a reason why why your chest isn't growing? Because you're not touching your chest with the bar? You need to exaggerate the range of motion for those muscle groups or for the guys that do not feel the muscles when they train them. Okay? So full stretch. If you're doing squats, ass touches the grass. Ass touches the motherfucking grass. If you're doing bench, the bar touches your fucking chest. And then full contraction. If you're doing a bicep curl, your pinky should come all the way up and trying to touch your shoulder. And you're making sure that you're contracting it, over exaggerating the range of motion in order to create more blood flow and more stimulus to the area, okay? The third step is you're going to want to slow down your tempo. A lot of you guys, I see you guys training and working out. You guys work out way too fucking fast. The negative portion of a rep should take you 3 seconds. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, up. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, up. That's how it should be if you're having problems feeling the muscle, because you want to control the weight and you want to let the muscle do the work. A lot of you guys don't even see yourselves that you're swinging all over the place, moving your elbows, you know what I'm saying, doing all sorts of crazy shit. Bro, look, if you actually want to get into the full stretch and the full range of motion, you're going to have to do a 3-second negative anyways. In order to get to your chest with the bar on a bench press, you're going to have to do a 3-second negative, because that's a long movement, especially for guys like us, like me, that have long arms. Same thing with the squat. So a 3-second negative. And then lastly, flex your muscle in the contraction portion of the rep. I want you to close your eyes and picture like you were naked in front of a group of fucking 50 women. And I want you, when you squeeze your muscle, like to contract them like as if they were about to pop out your fucking skin. That's how you should be lifting when you're in the gym. When you're doing a bench press and you're contracting your chest on the way up, you should be squeezing the fuck out your chest. When you're doing curls, you should be squeezing and contracting your biceps, trying to connect with it, not just lifting the weight. And if you implement all of these things, right, that I talked about, not only the first part, but the second part, you're literally on your way to start packing on lean mass the proper way, so that you can finally start making progress and finally start fixing the things that are holding you back from making the progress, the changes, from leveling up the way that you want to. All right. So, guys, that was the video, man. I'm out of breath. I had a monster before filming this. You know what I'm saying? So, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, bro. It helps out the channel. Also, if you want to get to the next level and you're tired of struggling and doing this shit on your own and trying to figure this out, and you want me to take you there to that next level, bro, you can schedule a call on my calendar link. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to yell at you, bro. I know I get angry. I know I yell sometimes, but I'm not going to yell at you. It's going to be a chill conversation if you're interested in getting my one-on-one help. Now, if you do show up, just make sure that you're serious and committed, right? Because like you guys know, Huncho doesn't like bullshit. Huncho likes to work with guys who are serious and committed to actually changing themselves and leveling the fuck up, right? Because I know I can help you get there. So that was the video. That was my offer. Let me know if you like it. Subscribe. Fitness content, mindset content. Sometimes we talk about women's stuff, you know what I'm saying? But we'll see if I do another one of those videos because it has been a minute. But anyways, Southpaw Huncho, that was the video. Check it out. Peace.